Tony, would you like to just briefly introduce yourself and why you want to start this WEAVISM brand?
So yeah, because my family business is like textile related, so we always wanted to create our own clothing brand to bring more of our fabrics to the end consumers, because mostly we deal with like big brands, so we want to start our own stuff. And then for my personal hobby is I'm really interested in menswear, so I want to create something new and fun. So that's why we created our own brand.
I heard that previously you were not working as like a designer, but you were working in Wall Street. So why did you want to come back to Taiwan to start this? Is it purely because of your own family, or is there any other reason?
I think it's like too much Excel. Like, what I do is, like a lot of financial modeling, like Excel stuff, you don't really get to meet like new people or actually understand more about like what's going on in the world, because mostly it's just like banks and like clients, but there's like less opportunity for me to meet other new stuff. Everything you do is like Excel based, or like emails and stuff. I want to like work on like newer, cooler stuff. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna come back and see how it goes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Got it. But before that, did you have any background about design or?
No, I actually don't.
Oh, okay.
I have like zero background in design actually. So for me, it's more about coming back and then getting to learn more about the textile industry, more about the garment industry, and like how this whole fashion industry is, I guess. So it's actually a pretty steep curve, because this is like this is not something I ever thought of doing.
Got it.
Yeah.
So thinking back, when you came back, you didn't start like straight in founding your own company. You actually went back to your family business and worked for a bit, and then start your own company, or?
Yeah, because I think it's important to know more about the basics, right? Like from textile or like from garment factories. Because we don't own any garment factories. So for me, I went to a garment factory in China that makes like shirting. So I stayed there for a while to like understand how the garment manufacturing process is. And then we work with different pattern makers, and like we like discuss and know more about clothing. But I think another thing that's more important is not only about like designing the clothing, but it's more about like how to communicate to consumers or to get their attention on like what you're doing. I think that's something that I didn't learn in college as well, because I focused more on like finance, accounting, derivatives,
what you're saying is like marketing is.
Yeah, I didn't take any classes in marketing. I'm like, that's something not important, but the advertising, I didn't take any classes like that.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's like completely different from like what I studied before until like now. Yeah.
So it took you like almost 1 year to just understand the industry?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 years actually. But I mean, this is just like the basics to understand like what's going on. But I feel like to be able to know more about like how you should do it, or like from a marketing standpoint, I think maybe like 3 to 4 years to actually know like what how to really like position yourself, or like what is like really like how do you like do branding, like stuff like that. Yeah.
So thinking back of the very beginning of yourself founding WEAVISM, what is the thing that you think you have learned the most throughout the journey?
Most?
Yeah.
A lot, I think. I think one big thing is the fact that if you have like a factory mentality, it's completely different from what you're doing from as like a brand standpoint. So that's something a lot of people struggle with, is the fact that if you start a factory, like what you care more about versus like when you're starting a brand. I think these two are like have a pretty big conflict of interest. That's why like originally when we started, we used like whatever our factory standpoint is to try to promote the brand. For example, I want to try to like make more pieces out of it, and you want to like find like easy way for people to buy your products. I think that's like more like a factory mindset. Yeah, and then for brand, you need to create like a more atmosphere, stuff like that. So more like trial and errors on how to try to get what you're thinking, like get your words out there. I think it's something that's like really different.
So from now, when you think of a new collection, you would think of in the brand perspective in terms of how you want to create this new collection, and then talk to the factory. But in the beginning, the mindset was you went to the factory and then they came up with ideas to you?
I think the thing about it is the fact that, you know, if you're like a factory mindset, what you're going to try to do is how to create, you know, selling more pieces and like in volume, right? So simply like, okay, so this thing is a good item, because we do a lot of OEM. This is like the strongest thing in Taiwan. It's like we can make stuff really good and cheap, right? But the thing is like, okay, so I make something and then like a clothing, and then I want people to buy it. So what are, you know, different methods, right? One is I go on discount, or I make the margin low and price lower. Hopefully, you know, people will buy, or I spend more money on marketing on Facebook or Google exposure. But, you know, this is like a traditional, you know, factory standpoint of like buying like a necessity, or like buying a product. But, you know, if you look from a brand standpoint, there's stuff that you can't do, you know, that way. You need to do other stuff to bring up the value of your goods to be able to, you know, sell at a different price, or, you know, so I think the mindset of like factory standpoint and branding standpoint is what I'm talking about. It's like how you try to promote your products differently to get, you know, different customers. And also, if you're a factory, you try to do as much quantity as possible, so the type of pictures or the type of content you create to reach your customers, it's more like they try to do it more broad, right?
Right.
But for us, you know, we try to do it more niche, because we want like people to actually really like our stuff, than like, you know, try to reach like, you know, everyone.
Got it. And will you guys limit the volume of every like garments that you make, or? Yeah, for garments, yes, but for like our like signature items, no. Like for example, like the fish bag, blah blah blah, because those are like, you know, it's like our classic piece, so it's just like LV monogram, like they just like keep producing it. So that, but for our clothing, yes, like every season we do like a new collection, so our pieces are limited. Got it. And it's all made from the homing?
Not all. I think not like 70%, 30% is like other people's fabric. Because I think this is the way to make a brand more interesting, because like there's like some limitations of like what each factory can do. So if we can add in new elements or try new designs, you know, you need like new materials to be able to build this brand.
Is there anything that you have learned from the finance world that have been converted into WEAVISM, or not really? If there's
not that much. I feel like I learn more like when I'm doing like whatever I'm doing.
Okay.
I mean, just some basic concept like finance, but I study most like derivatives, blah blah blah, those stuff, like statistics. So it's not something like really that like applicable to our.
Got it.
Yeah.
And in terms of WEAVISM, can you let us know why it's called WEAVISM?
No, because like our main factory does like weaving, right? So weaving is like something that we're really proud of, and something we've been doing for a long time. And the ism is like a way you want to like, you have like a belief, right? Like capitalism or like blah blah blah. So we're thinking like, you know, we want to let people know like more about our fabric, know more about like what we're doing. So that's why like, you know, we do it. Yeah, that's why I called it like WEAVISM.
You guys have trademarked this already, right?
It's
a good name.
Thank you. I think a lot of people can't pronounce it. That's why we have a Mandarin name, but you know, whatever, I don't care.
Got it. And in terms of the fish bag, that's like a very iconic thing in your brand. So I just want to ask in specific about that. So how did you guys think about the fish bag? Like, how did you guys come up with the idea?
Because it's a really interesting story. It's the fact that like originally we created one fabric from collagen fish scale, and then so we derive it from like collagen peptide, like from fish skin, and then make it into collagen peptide, and then we put it into the fiber, and then it has like a lot of functions. It's like anti-odor, moisturizing, anti-UV, has like a cooling touch, and then I personally think it's like a really good fabric to promote to Taiwanese brands, not even for our brands, like for brands in general.
Right.
But the fact is like, you know, because when you go to like tourist sites, you see a lot of like t-shirts like made in Alisana, made in like I mean like I love Alisana, whatever. And then when you look at it, it's like oh, it's like made in Vietnam, made in like other places. But if you go to Japan, you see like they have their own t-shirts and stuff, and they might be made from like washi paper. It's like specific type of, you know, paper in Japan, and they'll be like, oh, made in Kyoto, and then it's like Japan paper fabric. So I feel like for Taiwan, we don't really have like a material that really symbolizes our country. So that's why I was like, okay, so why don't I think this is a really good fabric because it has like anti-odor, blah blah blah. It's like it really fits like the Taiwan temperature, and also because like Taiwan's humid, you know, people sweat a lot, but it has like anti-odor, anti-sweat properties. So then this thing came out, and then I was like, okay, I think we should promote this. I think it's gonna be a really good hit, blah blah blah. And then it didn't turn out as good as I expected.
Why?
Because I feel like there's a lot of like functional yarn, functional fabric in Taiwan. They're really well known. For example, like made from like jade, or like made from like coffee, made from like,
jade.
Yeah, like jade. They make it into powder and then put it into the fiber. You know, have like cooling properties, or like coffee, milk, pineapple. A lot of these type of yarns are made from like this, like different types of methods of achieving functionalities. So then there's like different ways of achieving it. So for our material is that we need to clean the fish scale first, and then we make it like nano, and then you do like ultra molecular technology to like infuse blah blah blah. So the cost is a lot higher than like different yarns that have like this type of function. And then so I realized the fact that a lot of people will pick like other yarns because they maybe have like the same type of function. But for us, it's I think the durability is like a lot better. But due to the price, due to the everything, it's like something harder to promote. And then so for me, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna make a fish bag because I want people to know that like where this fabric comes from. And then because of this bag, I made like a really big one, and then middle size, and everybody was like really interested in it. Yeah, because we actually like a lot of people buy it and go to like fashion shows. So London, Paris, Japan, China, everybody has like our bags. It gets like street snapped and stuff. So that's how this fish thing got like pretty
got viral,
big.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. So it's actually your idea.
Yeah, I just want to try something, and it turned out to be it's interesting because a lot of like we do like we're like what functional streetwear. So a lot of like functional brands have like their own mascot of an animal. For example, like Fjällräven is like a wolf, or like Cladimundsen is like a mouse, like these stuff. So I was like, oh, so we should have our fish. Yeah, milkfish is made from Taiwan, and then we try to like make it more streetwear. It's not like really direct like a fish. We wanted to make it cool and chic, and yeah, that's how like the fish thing got like good. And then now we're trying to like expand like this collection.
You're trying to expand this collection?
Yeah, more ways of playing with this mascot, I guess. Yeah.
Got it. I know that recently you guys have collaborated with like a soap company, and then you made something very much like a condom. Yeah. So that's like another innovation that you guys are trying to do.
I think for us is we try to collaborate with a lot of artisans in Taiwan that they're not well known, because I feel like Taiwan's really good at making like handmade, or like really good like with like really good like technicians and stuff. But yeah, I feel like a lot of them, like what they do is maybe they find like brands that are more on how to say like 文创 or something. Like they find like these type of people, like handmade soap, blah blah blah. But then for me, it's I want to make it more modern, more streetwear style. So I try to work with these type of artisans to create like new ways of promoting and new packaging and stuff like that. And then the whole concept about this whole condom soap is the fact that because due to the COVID, I feel like it's really important for people to like wash your hands, wash your face, blah blah blah. And then also because it's like a really big thing in camping. So I think it's something really convenient for them to bring.
Do you do camping in Taiwan?
I do less actually. I go less, but I just think that that's like a really big trend. Yeah. So I was thinking like, okay, so this thing is like it's interesting, it's fun, and then people can bring it to use, blah blah blah. So this is like the small one. We're gonna have like a big one soon. So yeah, I just try to like do more collaboration with like interesting people.
Got it. And how did you first market your brand? How did you expose your brand to the outer world? Because the difficulty of founding your own brand is, even though maybe you have support from your own textile factory, it's still very hard for a brand to get their brand identity out there. So how did you first get your brand
I remember first time we did it, I think it was just like, we just did like some press release with media people, and then just try to build the relationship
in Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan. At first, I think it wasn't that successful for like the first like 1 or 2 times, but then after like the fish thing got viral, and then we just got more like media exposure, and then also we work with different stylists.
So the fish changed your brand?
Yeah, kind of.
Sort of. Okay.
I think half and half. I think our clothing is also something a lot of people really like, because the fact that like people buy our fish, people buy our clothing. At first, they're like 2 different types of people.
Right.
Yeah, but now they're like more merged together. So
okay, that's
so
great.
it's like better. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to go viral? Like, how long did it take for you to
like
get that?
2 to 2 years maybe.
Okay, so every fashion brand, they should just at least be persistent until 2 to 3 years.
I think that's but it's like the fish thing is interesting. It's like it goes viral for a while and then it stops, and then goes viral again and then it stops, and then goes viral again and it stops. It's just like it's like 3 or 4 waves of like
it's very interesting.
It just like dies out after a while and then comes back.
And someone just like carried that.
And then they're like, oh my god. And then from like China, Japan, even the UK,
Got it. Would you, talking back to WEAVISM, because the theme is about travel, so would you let us know why the theme is about travel?
Because like the whole thing, why, is because originally I was thinking like, if we're gonna make like a clothing brand, I'm more into like outro, like what do you mean, like streetwear, functional wear, right? So I think it's really important to think about like, so what is the main reason of wearing your clothing? Like, is it only for Instagram, or is it for like photos, or like what is like the main reason for it? And I think it's really important that our clothing all has some sort of function that that does something, and before the COVID and everything. So I was thinking like travel is like a really important thing for people's lives to get to know new stuff and new ideas. And this is also like our main concept of our brand is to be like fresh off the street. So we want to like do something new every time. So I think like when you travel to new places or you go to like adventure stuff, we hope that you can wear our clothing. So that's why we started our brand, to focus on like travel essentials and also like functionalities. Then we try to think about like for travel, what are like essential functions that this garment needs.
So let's just make an example. So for the clothes that you are wearing, what aspects of travel did it infuse?
I think for this jacket, it's pretty interesting is this silhouette we actually make like every single season. We just change the pattern, the fabric, and maybe some pocket detail. So originally why this jacket was developed was simply because we want to make a jacket that fits everyone. So this is like a really big oversized jacket that can fit like really small women to bigger guys. And at the same time, we do like zipper, like different types of pockets and stuff, and it's like wrinkle free, so you can like pack it up and bring it to anywhere. And then all of our pants is like waist adjustable, so you don't need to bring any belts. So belt is something that's really annoying if you go through the security. So all our pants are like waist adjustable, and then it's more comfortable if you're like too full.
It's like you can adjust it manually?
Yeah, manually adjust it, either through drawstring, either through a belt, either through like this thing, like you can just adjust the waist.
Got it.
Things like that. Or for pants, we do like a lot of zipper pockets just to prevent stuff from falling down.
Talking about travel and talking about COVID, because your brand is inspired by travel, and right now because of COVID, there's a lot of travel restrictions. How did it impact your brand?
I think
before and now?
Because before we have a lot of tourists actually. We have like a lot of tourist customers from like Japan, UK, like these. So now it's like 0. So for now it's like for us to focus more on domestic, right? And I mean we have foreign buyers, but that's like once in a season. But I mean for like domestically, we just try to fulfill more like domestic needs. Because in the past it's like people from China, from Japan, from like these places, or like Hong Kong, they're like we have a lot of like customers there. So
maybe they would go online.
I think go online, but I think it's more, I mean, if you go online, are people that actually bought our products before, right? But if you really want to know, like, new diehard fans, I think it's easier for them to, come to our store and then know what we're doing. And then, go through, like, the concept to, like, know more about, actually touch our clothing, see the details. I mean, website is a way, but I think it's still like a lot more difficult because like the price point is not like the cheapest, and also like really need to like persuade them like why do they buy this item from you, not from other people.
Got it. When it comes to like the proportion of the revenue, like is it a lot of percentage are from the foreigners, or
I think the past maybe is like I don't know, like 35 to 40% foreign and 60% domestic, but now is like domestic is like 80 to 90 because now there's like no foreigners, right?
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, because I think for e-commerce for us it's a lot better for accessories, so like bags, hats, stuff like that. For clothing, yes, we do have, but mostly are people that actually bought our products before. I think it's important for them to still try on because you have like different sizing, especially for like foreigners from Europe or USA. Their sizing in Asia fit is different.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier for them to come to our store, know our fit, and then afterwards they just buy online.
Got it.
Yeah.
Then like for these years, you have developed a lot of like ideas, and also gain a lot of experiences in terms of branding, and also in terms of a lot of like learnings in the industry. So my question for you, I think probably this would be the last question, is that what are you thinking of for the future? Like, do you have any plans in terms of how you want to do this brand, or do you have any other ideas?
For me, I think because I want to continuously, do like new stuff, like new collaborations, or like new collaborations with like brands or like artisans or like events. So I think that's something that what we always try to do is the fact that we try to like make new events or campaigns that are unique. So for example, like from the soap to maybe in the future like I don't know, detergent or like family, like clothing, clothing, living related, I think are stuff that we really want to try. And also maybe focus more on like some sort of interesting activities for our members to participate in, because we really value our members. So we have like like a lot of like members. We try to like
you want to build a community.
Yeah, like we try to like have a good conversation and have good relationship with them. So I think how to maximize the client customers expectation and experience is really important for our next step, since we can like travel abroad. Yeah.
One bonus last question is, would you ever regret like leaving your job in Wall Street?
No, not really. No, it's like really boring. It's really boring there, so I think it's more interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.